Hey there, boys, girls, the YouTube world. Today I'm gonna give you a tour of my brand new trailer. That's right, we're hauling a lot of junk, so we needed a new trailer. Nothing like cutting up your brand new trailer and modifying it. How neat is that? This is a 22-foot HP tilt deck. HP is the brand, whole Porter trailers. My current last trailer, whatever, is a 20-foot H&H. That's from Hull, Iowa. This is from Bradyville, Iowa. I believe these two manufacturers are related one way or another because they are very similar. So let me give you a tour of this thing. So like I said, the last one's 20 foot. This is 22 foot. I figured a little more bed length would help. One thing I can tell you is don't buy a trailer, depending on what you're doing, but if you're hauling a lot of cars, go 18 feet or longer. That 20 foot was about perfect, but I kind of wanted a little bit longer one because we do haul some grain trucks once in a while, and then also I can put the skid steer on it and have some attachments or haul a pallet of something on the front. So we'll see. I haven't even pulled this thing yet, so I'll let you know. My old man went down to Bradyville, and I think I'm pronouncing that right, and pulled it back for me because I just don't have time. It's on the Missouri-Iowa border. Real nice folks to deal with. Super nice trailer. They have a dealership there and then one in somewhere in Florida. So they sell straight to the consumers. So you cut out the middleman, the dealers, so you get a pretty good discount. You can custom order these things, whatever axles you want. This one's got 7,000 pound axles. The last one that I had has 3,500 pound axles. So I was pushing the weight limit quite a bit. And that's the other reason I got these heavy axles, so I can haul the skid steer. I never had a good way to haul this before other than the 40-foot trailer. And if I want to go move snow at one of my other properties, it's just not convenient to hook onto a 40-foot gooseneck trailer and pull it around town just to move snow. So this will really help out with the skid steer hauling. I did have some D-rings welded on. I think there's 4 D-rings. That was an option. You can get steel decks. I got the drive over fender option. They have removable fenders as well. I got the 14-ply tire option. I did not get the spare tire option. I got the spare tire, but not the spare tire mount, so we're gonna make a mount for that. And mounts, I got the winch mount, and I bought myself a Badland 12,000 pound winch from Harbor Freight with the synthetic rope. I got that same winch on the 40-foot trailer, and it works pretty good once in a while. It has a hiccup, but you just tap on her. And she usually works pretty good, but the synthetic rope is key. I never want to deal with a cable again. That's what my 20-foot trailer has, and it's super annoying. So hopefully that bolts right up to our winch. We're probably gonna have to mount a battery and get that figured out. This thing does have a ton of Scotch clips underneath it, which sucks, which every trailer has. So we're gonna spend the whole afternoon putting heat shrink and solder connectors in there and get rid of those. This trailer does have an adjustable hitch, raise up and down. Since it's bolt on, you could put like a clevis style on there. This is a 2 5/16 ball. You can get an electric tilt. I prefer the manual tilt just because I have problems with electronics on trailers. So this way we can just go up and down. My other trailer is a 2008 model, so 14-ish, 15 years old, and I just put a new jack on it recently. So I got 15 years out of the last one. Should be good to go, and plus we'll have a spare now for between the two trailers, yada, yada, yada. This is how you latch it to tilt. My last one, this is just a chunk of steel rod they shear off, put a little bit in it. The last one had rubber handles that went over here, so I did notice that's different. We mounted the battery on our other one right there, so it tilts up and down with the trailer. This one's got a little bit more reflective tape on it. They did a really nice job of painting underneath. I don't believe these are green treated, but our last trailer, we've only had to replace one board in 15 years. There's one in the middle that's kind of on its way out currently. Let's get these nice little LEDs. My other trailer has these now. It didn't have them originally. I was always knocking the bigger ones out, so we upgraded with those. So those will be nice. Would have been kind of nice if they ran this at an angle like the other trailer, so it's not exposed over here, but it's just kind of nitpicking stuff apart. If you want to get a hold of these guys, there's their contact information. They got all their pricing on the internet. This one's got a little bit taller frame. I presume that comes with the axles that come on here. Again, these are 7,000 pound 8-lug Dexter axles. I got the black steel wheel option. 14-ply, these Diamondbacks. But yeah, they're super heavy. The spare's somewhere. For the spare tire mount, what I did on my last trailer is I took a chunk of ready rod, put underneath the trailer right there in the middle, cut out a big washer that goes in the center of the hub, and then put a nut on there, and then I welded 2 chunks of round stock like that on there. So it's basically just a big wing nut. It's out of the way. You don't see it. It's hard to get at, kind of, but you can tilt the trailer up. It's pretty easy to get at, and I've never had to use it, so it's out of the way. I think these guys from the factory, they put them on the tongue or up here, and they're in the way. I don't like them, so I like them tucked up underneath. Plus, it's out of the sunlight, so it doesn't get weather checked. All kinds of stake pockets. That's awesome. Again, it's got these neat little LEDs. One problem I did have with the other trailer is when you're tilting it up and down, the license plate is here, and it hits the grass when you got it tilted up and stuff like that. So we ended up putting it up here on the fender, which sometimes you hit the fender with things, you know. So these are fabricated fenders, which are way heavier than the stamp steel ones that the other trailer has. It's got these nice LED taillights tucked in here, so they're not hanging out here, back into getting broken. You're always fixing lights on trailers. It took me almost 10 years to break out my first taillight on the other trailer. I've broken a couple out since. The only time you have problems like when you got exhaust dragging and you're winching a car on and that goes and pokes in there. But I really like the taillight design that these guys have. Got some more tie down hooks back here. Oh, you can see some Scotch clips and some butt connectors there. So we're gonna have to doctor those up. But otherwise, like I said, I haven't really used it, but it seems like a really nice heavy built trailer. Dad said it pulled good empty. Some of these trailers, they don't have the axles where they need to be, so when they're empty they bounce around or they put too much load on the pickup or yada yada yada. And then it's also got the tread plate up here to hopefully prevent some rock chips. My other trailer is just beat to snot just from all the gravel that we pull up and down on. But the good thing is, Dad said put linseed oil on here, but we spill enough oil, generally speaking. Sorry, Greta.
How dare you?
So we don't have too much problem with wood. The oil just kind of seals it up. All right, I'm gonna get this winch mounted on here and yeah, start messing around with our spare tire mount, and we'll go from there. But I'm pretty excited about our new trailer. We usually pull, lately we've been pulling it with the Expedition, so we'll see heavier trailer. Plus we're hauling heavier loads. I have pulled the skid steer on my other old 18-foot non-tilt trailer with the Expedition, and it does okay. But otherwise we got White Ryan there to tow them with, so pretty excited about that hitch, so we can adjust the height to where we like it so it sits level with our hitches, even though it's going to be different between that pickup and the blue Dodge and the Expedition, but oh well. And then the 14-ply tires are going to be way good. I think we went through like 8 sets of tires in 15 years on that other trailer, so we're constantly wearing the tires out, and we finally bent an axle. I think we got her pretty well straightened out. We went through the last pair of tires in about 6 months, so no bueno. So yeah, if you're looking for a trailer, get a tilt deck, especially if you're hauling dead stuff or if you're hauling low cars. Tilts are the way to go, not dealing with ramps. You're gonna pay a little bit more money, but it's kind of like a diesel pickup. You pay the money up front and it's worth it in the long run, and then when you go to get rid of it, you're gonna get more out of it. Anyway, heavy axles is good. You always wanna have overkill. But if you're just gonna haul your street rod around all the time, then 3,500 pound axles are fine. It really just depends on your application, and we haul a little bit of everything. We haul a lot of dead stuff, so a winch and a tilt is an absolute must. It makes our lives so much easier around here. And yeah, heavy ply tires, good tires. Always have good tires in your trailer. Keep after the lights. You know, if the light's broken, you fix it. You don't wait till half the lights are broken and then fight them forever. That's my thing. And use good connectors. Heat shrink and solder. Don't use Scotch clips or insulated butt connectors, stuff like that. Yeah. So give these guys a shout. My H&H trailer's been good. You can get H&H from a dealer. I don't know if you can get them straight for an H&H, but HP, Hall Porter trailers, give them a shout. PullHP.com. They got all their pricing. They got a Facebook page, all of the good stuff. All right, let's see if the bolt pattern is correct for this Badlands winch. Oh, it's got a wireless controller, but I like that, except for the fact that sometimes it doesn't work. Harbor Freight, what do you expect? I think this is like 450 bucks, something like that. The other trailer has a 12,000 pound XRC 12 Smittybilt. That has been an awesome winch. I had an XRC 8 before that. Again, get the biggest winch. Basically double what you need. If you think you're gonna get away with a 3,500 pound winch, you are kidding yourself. That's for like four-wheelers, lawnmowers. I would suggest an 8,000 or bigger. These 12,000s seem like they're about right for dead stuff that got 4 flat tires and don't roll. These winches are a little bit fast for what I like, but you can always double them up. Slows the speed down in half. All right, let's get this thing unboxed and throw her in place. Well, we've come into our first snag. Looks like she's hitting the rub rail before it gets to the bolt holes. So I think what we're gonna do is we're just gonna snip this off for now, and we'll get it to where it needs to be, and then we'll have to rebuild this rub rail. This rub rail is, I think my other one's about 4 inches taller than this. Fun fact, when a deer runs in between you and your pickup, or your trailer and your pickup, and they hit here, it bends these back, and it makes a mess of the deer and the vehicle all over your trailer. Ask me how I know. Okay, so I'm gonna figure out where I'm gonna cut that, and then probably get the old death wheel, and we're gonna trim her up and get this thing mounted. My last trailer didn't have this option, so I had to build all this stuff. I think these guys do have the option. You can put the winch up here or up here. I don't like them back here because it uses up bed space, and then if you're rolling a car ahead, you can run into it. Where hopefully this one's a little bit more protected, especially if we rebuild this headache rack or rub rail, whatever you want to call it. And when you're letting the trailer down, don't put your finger in there. That's what that means. So we got our rub rail cut out of there. We got this bolted down. I slid it ahead as far as I could in these slotted holes here. And of course this came with lock washers, and we didn't use those because lock washers is the devil.
Because little girls are the devil.
So now we got I kind of want a rub rail on here to protect this thing, kind of. And then we also got to have something to bolt our fair lead to. The other nice thing about these Badlands is all the controls are right here, whereas the Smittybilt, it's like separate, so it's kind of flopping around there where it's, so you gotta mount that too. This is a little bit nicer. Yeah, we got a bunch of wiring to do. This thing even comes with a dead man switch, which I don't think we're gonna use. There's our fair lead. I'm guessing that bracket is for it as well. I don't know. We should maybe open the destructions. What's this for? This for wrapping around it so it doesn't break and kill you, shoot you in the face. Oh, it comes with some stickers too, of course. You gotta have the decals. All right, and I'm gonna do a little reading. Oh, maybe that fair lead can bolt right to it. Not sure what it looks like in that picture, but I don't see where that's gonna work. All right, I gotta do some researching. That must be for the electrical connectors. I don't know. Science. So I guess this bracket is for the control box relocation, which is optional. I like it just where it's at. Don't you, Duff? So here's what we got going on. We cut that bar out. I grabbed some rusty angle iron. Come on now, showing the people what we're doing here to the trailer. And we took the old Eastwood Contour SCT drum sander, cleaned her up, and we took a couple of sections of what we cut out here and made a couple uprights to bolt our fair lead to. And then we cut this at some nice angles so that it kind of angles in there. Oh, hey, you're not much help. filming or welding. But yeah, we had to scrounge up a little bit of material, and then I had to notch out the angle iron to clear our fair lead there. So I did that with the old, most of this was all done with the flap disc and the 4.5-inch angle grinder. Like I said, I stripped the paint off of that angle iron with this Contour SCT tool from Eastwood. Pretty handy tool when you use it, but I maybe use it once a year. So, and then these drums are pretty expensive. I think there's another company that makes them. If you do a lot of stripping, you know, not that kind of stripping, but I would say buy one. But otherwise, yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'll get my money's worth in the next 30 years. So now I'm gonna fire up the old Miller 220. Well, it's a 220 volt. It's a Miller 200, and it's old. And we're gonna burn all those in there. I'm gonna take the winch off and the fair lead off. I still need to make a bracket for the battery. I was hoping there would be enough room here, but I was dreaming. So I think we'll put the battery right there. So we'll probably get a little bit lighter angle iron, or maybe we'll use some of that. I don't know. And get that mounted up there. I should make a protector of sorts for it, because I did on my last trailer. And rocks like to put holes in the battery. But I don't have a marine battery. I like marine batteries because you can run them down and charge them back up, and run them down and charge them back up. They don't mind that. That's kind of like what golf carts use and such, because we're going electric, you know. So I got to go to town and get one of those so that I know what dimensions it needs to be, or we could go steal it off the other trailer or something like that. And then, well, there's a 12-volt wire in all of my vehicles, and there should be one on your 7-pin RV flat blade connector. And we'll tap into that in that junction box so that will charge the battery up. So hopefully we don't have to drag a jumper pack around or a battery or whatever. So we need to wire that in and wire this in as well. But I think it's just, I think this ground wire hooks up here. Well, it's actually a power wire. And the red wire hooks up there, and then hook that right to the battery, and easy peasy lemon squeezy. Right, Duff? Yeah. So I'm going to burn this in. Well, I'm going to take that off there first, and we'll burn it in. And probably wrap her up for tonight. Like I said, until we can get a battery. I should have went and got one of those today. But I never went to town because it's the middle of a snowstorm. As you can tell, just from driving over to Pookie's and back. Got a lot of snow melting here. And it's awesome because it barely runs to the floor drain. It takes forever. Oh, also, I guess I laid that angle iron in there at the angle that I wanted, and then I marked it with a scratch awl, and so I knew what angles I need to cut it at, and then I beveled the edges here so we can burn it in real good, and then hopefully we won't have a big ugly weld standing up there. I mean, it's going to be a nice weld because we know what we're doing with the old Tweako here. But yeah, I like beveling them because then you get a better weld, and it's not so hideous. It's not all stacked up like that guy right there. Should be more flushish. Nothing like cutting up your brand new trailer and modifying it. Good news is it's just black spray paint, so we can touch her up. Nobody will ever know the difference. What's that saying go? You gotta break a few eggs to make an omelet?
Sometimes you gotta crack a few eggs to make an omelet.
I do like omelets. There you go, got her all burned in. I gotta clean up that angle iron or wherever the paint's boiled off. We'll take the flap disc and clean it up a little bit, maybe any of the sharp edges, and yeah, we'll be ready for some paint on that, but I think we're gonna paint everything, so gotta get that battery bracket done. But I think that looks pretty good. Good enough for the girls we go with, right, Duff? No, he doesn't like welding, he's napping somewhere. So here is my battery holder box concoction tray thinger. I used a DT78 or a Group 78 battery, which is the same size as a Group 34, because that's what my other trailer has. They didn't have a marine battery or deep cycle battery in town, so we're just using this for mock-up. Use the angle iron that we cut out of here, and then some flat strap. This is 2-inch angle iron. This is 2.5 flat strap, and then some flat strap. At 45s, it's pretty much the same design as what I have on my other trailer. It's actually a little bit beefier. The trailer is jacked up a little bit, so when you set it down, this angle iron rests on here, so it's even more rigid. And then I just got a couple pieces of ready rod that come out here, and then a piece of angle iron that clamps it. But until we get the correct battery, I'm going to hold off on those just to make sure that it's in the right spot, or I could go rob it out of that other trailer too. So I'm going to go ahead and finish burning this in, and have to find up some ready rod and then maybe a piece of angle iron and drill a couple holes in it. We should be pretty much wrapped up on the fabrication. We got our paint all laid in place. I had to use this thing last night to do some snow removal at another location. So let's finish bolting everything back on here. This is the easy part, right? We got everything installed, I think. Winch is in, fair lead's in. Got her hook put on the end. These are synthetic rope protectors. I guess you put those around it when you going around a tree or something, it might rub through. But I think we're at the point where we can get out the remote and give her a whirl. Like I said, we don't have the right battery, so I'm gonna get a marine battery, and usually marine batteries have these studs, kind of like this. I just use one of these crappy adapters that I don't really care for, but it'll work for now. I only had one. So this is a top post to side post adapter, and we just clamped it right on the bolt. This is completely temporary. Pete at Johnny's Bar and Grill in Hollister, California. Go check those guys out, is our battery sponsor this week. Like I said, this is just temporary, but there's nothing more permanent than temporary wiring. This is supposed to be a red cable. I'm guessing it's red inside of there, you can't see. That goes to power. There's this little black wire that goes to ground. You run your ground wire under to there. Pretty simple. And then we got to open up this little box here and see if we got a charge wire coming from the pickup and run that back to here, and then we should be able to charge. I like putting the battery up here because then the cables stay with the winch. The only thing is the whatever 14 gauge, 12 gauge, 10 gauge, whatever wire we run from the pickup, that'll have to go back here to the pivot point and then back up along the trailer so that it doesn't pull out, you know, because we don't like pulling out around here. Anywho, let's give this thing a whirl, see what happens. Hopefully we don't let the smoke out. Should we try it with the wireless mode? There's a switch over here. It's on wireless. Okay, so we gotta press and hold that for 3 seconds. Oh, what a deal. Engager? Slingshot, no, we wouldn't say that. Badland engage.
Slingshot engaged.
How neat is that?
How neat is that?
And like I said, you can run these winches with the cord or the cable. It's usually what I do on my other trailer, just because the batteries go dead in these. Or these are magnetic. You leave them somewhere, you forget about them, you lose them. I haven't lost one yet. Knock on wood. So yeah, I think this thing's pretty much ready to go. I wonder if my other remote will work with this one. That would be handy if you could just keep a remote in each vehicle. And then, yeah, because otherwise, that's the other thing I don't like about the cordless thing is you forget this remote and that pickup or vice versa. And to be honest, I really wish they just had a switch right on here. That's fine. I don't need a cord or a remote. It's kind of nice to get out of the way of the cable, so in case it breaks, it doesn't go slingshotting right through your brain. But other than that, I really see no need for... It is kind of nice on that 40-foot trailer. You get to the back of the trailer and you want to steer a vehicle. It's nice steering the vehicle on a shorter trailer like this as well. But to be honest, there's just so many issues with it. Dead batteries, you lose it, it breaks. Like, just, why can't winch manufacturers just put a button on here? You know, so pushing a button on the windshield. I'm sure if we dug into the wiring, we could probably figure out a way to put a jumper wire in there, just jumper or make our own switch and all that. It's for another day. Go check out the merch. Thank you very much for watching. Check out our other videos. Go check out H&H trailers. Check out HP trailers. Get yourself a Badlands winch from Harbor Freight. I give them a thumbs up. I would recommend them. It's been pretty good. So remember, it doesn't matter how you get it done, so long as you're having fun.